always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Both sides of the story.
You always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
I opened a book, and in I strode. Now nobody can find me. I've left my chair, my house, my road, my town, and my world behind me. I'm wearing the cloak. I've slipped on the ring. I've swallowed the magic potion. I've fought with a dragon, dined with a king, and dived in a bottomless ocean. I opened a book and made some friends. I shared their tears and laughter, and followed their road with its bumps and bends to the happily ever after. I finished my book and out I came. The cloak can no longer hide me. My chair and my house are just the same, but I have a book inside me.
King of the world, sitting on your throne, miracles, servants standing all around, feeding you apples, your favorite stew, singers and dancers entertaining you, millions of dollars in your chest. If you don't find the time to beat and rest, you're as poor as a little church mouse. Read and make it the full man, so read and read all you can. Join the library of fire book, and give it more than just a passing look. Vibrate alone and shall not slip. Your from words of books, you'll have much to give. Read and make it the full man, so read and read all you can. Join the library of fire book, and give it more than just a passing look. Vibrate alone and shall not slip. But from words of books, you'll have much to give. Mixing from old to new, some serious, some music too. You know understand, appreciate with the words we think, communicate to balance distractions out today we'll see. Reading every day is a missing link. So raise your knowledge and IQ. It gives you confidence in you. Read and make us a full man. So read and read all you can. Join a library or buy a book and give it more than just a passing look. Direct alone, man shall not slip, but from words that put you have much to give. Let me hear it now. Read and make us a full man. So read and read all you can. Join a library or buy a book and give it more than just a passing look. My bread alone man shall not live, but from words that put you have much to give.
On this Read Across Jamaica Day in this Education Week 2023, today is being celebrated under various banners: War Veterans Day, Victory Day, Liberation Day, Memorial Day, and Heroes Day, from Azerbaijan to Guernsey, Jersey to Latvia and Kazakhstan, from Bosnia-Herzegovina to Armenia, Kyrgyzstan to Montenegro, Russia and Tajikistan, from Ukraine to Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and Belarus. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 9th day of the 5th month of 2023, the International Year of Millets, cereals grown in warm countries and regions with poor soil, a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. The American Hospital Association and affiliated American health organizations are marking May as Mental Health Awareness Month, Stroke Awareness Month, Arthritis Awareness Month, Better Hearing and Speech Month, Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, Global Employee Health and Fitness Month, Healthy Vision Month, Hepatitis Awareness Month, Melanoma, Skin Cancer Detection and Prevention Month, Asthma and Allergy Awareness Month, Celiac Disease Awareness Month, High Blood Pressure Education Month, Osteoporosis Awareness and Prevention Month, Lupus Awareness Month, Physical Fitness and Sports Month, Teen Pregnancy Prevention Month, and Older Americans Month. The month of May is being observed here in Jamaica as Child Month and National Exporters Month, Lupus Awareness Month, Workers Month, and Education Month. In fact, Education Week started Sunday, the 7th of May, 2023. The service was held at St. George's Anglican Church on Great George Street in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. Today is Read Across Jamaica Day, with reading activities in downtown Kingston and 3 simultaneous JTA regional satellite events. Tomorrow is Teachers' Day. Thursday is Helen Stills Professional Development Day. Friday will see award functions organized by corporate companies for educators, while Saturday is reserved for Adventists' participation. It's Mother's Day in Belarus, Europe Day in Europe, and as we have said at least a couple of times, today is Read Across Jamaica Day. Hoy es martes el 9 de mayo 2023 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
Before I forget.
C'est mardi le 9 mai 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Singers and dancers entertaining you. Millions of dollars in your chest. If you don't find the time to beat and browse, you're as poor as a little church mouse. Reading make it a full man, so read and read.
All we're saying is it's Tuesday, the 9th of May, 2023. And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
You'll understand, appreciate with the words we think, communicate. To balance distractions of today we'll see. Reading every day is the missing link. So raise your knowledge and IQ. It gives you confidence in you. Read and make it a full man. So read and read all you can.
I believe you're listening to the voices of Mona Primary School students recorded many, many years ago. Wonder how those children are doing now. We trust they're still very much with us. It's Victory Day, marking the end of World War II in Europe, specifically the fall of Nazi forces to the Allies being the United Kingdom, Soviet Union, France, the United States, and other principal Allied nations. Many of those countries celebrated Victory Day yesterday. However, in Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Belarus, and other countries of the former Soviet Union, the day of victory over Nazi Germany is celebrated on this day, May 9, because when the German instrument of surrender actually entered into force at 11:01 Central European Time, it was already the 9th of May by Moscow time. Some post-Soviet countries, most notably the Russian Federation, have continued the tradition. Good afternoon and welcome to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3. Did we take the break? Let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. Come to the Denby 4-H Center in Clarendon Friday, May 12th for the Jamaica 4-H Club's National Achievement Expo under the theme Grow Smart, Eat Smart, Youth Responding to Food Security. Learn about Grow Smart technologies. Visit the Eat Smart Food Hub. There'll be prizes, awards, agency displays, and more. Admission adults $300, children $100. Gates open at 8 a.m. That's the Jamaica 4-H Club's National Achievement Expo, Friday, May 12th at the Denby 4-H Center in Clarendon.
The Gleaner Company Media Limited wishes to advise that its switchboard is currently out of service. They encourage you to call 876-619-6397 while they work to restore access through the switchboard. They apologize for any inconvenience caused. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
Have a title for your property? If no, then get a registered certificate of title. To register your property, you will need a tax registration number, a valid government-issued ID, up-to-date property tax payments, the names, addresses, and occupations of 2 neighbors over the age of 50 who are not family members and can give a declaration on your behalf, a survey diagram, and documentation to prove ownership. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263, 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or WhatsApp us at 876-418-5089.
Youth Excellence takes center stage this Friday, May 12th at the Denby 4-H Center in Clarendon as the Jamaica 4-H Clubs will host their National Achievement Expo under the theme Grow Smart, Eat Smart, Youth Responding to Food Security. Features of the day include Grow Smart Technologies and Eat Smart Food Hub, prizes and awards, a celebrity spice cook-off, and more. Join Power Talk with Simon Croskill for a live broadcast from the event, brought to you by the Jamaica 4-H Clubs. That's Power Talk, live from the Jamaica 4-H Club's National Achievement Expo at the Denby 4-H Center in Clarendon this Friday, May 12th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., only on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Welcome to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free. Listening is free whenever, wherever. We thank those of you who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you do not have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. All you need is a smart device, such as a smartphone, tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, one of those. Then you need internet connection. More importantly, internet connectivity. One sure way to test for internet connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example, If you're able to browse, then you're good to go. If not, well, you might have an issue on your hands, but should be easily resolved. In the meantime, let's greet those of you who have been joining us online. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine says, good afternoon, Dervan Malcolm, and thank God for life, and shout out to all the listeners from across the world, says Ricardo Porcius. Audrey Smith says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners tuning in from Southampton. Welcome, Audrey Smith in Southampton, England. Norman Hines says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon, Norman Hines. Joan Edgehill says, blessings, Mr. Dervan. Blessings to you too, Joan Edgehill in Central Florida. Carol Boyth says, good afternoon, beautiful people. Good afternoon, Carol Boyth. Sadiki Birch says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, and happy Earth Day birthday to all those who were born in the best month ever. Mine is on Saturday coming. Blessings. Happy birthday when it comes on Saturday, Sadiki Birch. Mike or Michael from Belle Plaine in Clarendon says, good afternoon, teacher, to you and your listeners. I'm here home watching you live on Facebook. Keep educating the nation. Keep up your good work. Thank you very much, Michael from Belle Plaine in Clarendon. Good to have you on board. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Let's see if we can read some of your messages on this Read Across Jamaica Day. 876-922-4112-5 are the regular numbers to call. As we said, the text line and the WhatsApp number are one and the same. 876-365-3346 is the text line, the WhatsApp number, and also a straight line essentially to get to us. Let's see if we can clear some of these messages now and go down the line. Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada, has shared with us a story from The Guardian, Out There, Mavericks and Black Literature by Daryl Pinkney. For 40 years, Jamaica, J.A. Rogers studied sources. Let's see if we can bring this up. From Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada. Good afternoon to all our listeners in Canada with your vast territory that sometimes feels like forever when flying across Canada. All right, this is taking a while to open. This must be quite a voluminous document, Franklin McDonald. But anyway, we'll read your message now. He says, Dervan, I have sent you another link to that very interesting Jamaican, Joel Augustus Rogers. I often wonder why he's so forgotten among both Jamaicans in Jamaica and Jamaicans in the diaspora. As far as I recall, he was one of the Jamaica Progressive League members who came to Jamaica, or who came to Jamaica in the 1930s to stimulate the formation of the People's National Party. Thank you very much. We'll try again to open the document, Mr. McDonald, but it seems to be quite voluminous. Why it's taking so long to open. Hello to Neil Curtis of Farm Up Jamaica, founder and CEO of Farm Up Jamaica. He is encouraging us to give support to the organization, encouraging us to sponsor tea signs for the Farm Up Jamaica Golf Tournament. And we trust that the organization gets the support, Farm Up Jamaica. So those who are so moved, please give Farm Up Jamaica a chance. There is yesterday, I don't think we played it on air, but We never get tired of hearing Shelley Ann Fraser Price speak, and she is getting better by the second. She's fast becoming one of those sought after speakers all over the world. And in fact, all right, let's see now. Where is it? There is a recording of Shelley Ann Fraser Price speaking, and she's worth listening to. Let's see. I thought I had saved it for this afternoon. See if I can bring it up. But it's worth listening to. And we just need to remember which one of these, let's see, which one of these WhatsApp messages Shelley Ann Fraser Price popped up on. That's what we're trying to track right now, but it's here. There's no doubt that it is here. Here we go. She is worth listening to. Shelley Ann Fraser Price. So what happened what was it, yesterday or day before, she was accorded the Laureus Sportswoman of the Year. She received the title and the trophy, Sportswoman of the Year. Laureus from laurel, from the Greek use of that particular traditional symbol of athletic prowess, etc. And here's how she responded after she was presented with her award and accolade. Let's listen. Shelley Ann Fraser Price.
Oh, I almost cried. And I don't usually cry, but I first want to thank the Laureus Academy for this award. I've been nominated quite a few times, I think about 6. So I'm really honored to be here to receive this award. You know, to consider that when I was 13 in 2000, the Laureus Award started. And I realized being 13, a young girl from Kingston, Jamaica, Waterhouse mainly, being poor, looking back now, I say that there's no barrier when it comes to your passion and your calling, as time honors your greatness. And when I started doing track and field, it was my opportunity to come out of my circumstances. My mom told me that this was going to be my launching pad. This was going to be my way to college. And at first I didn't believe, because I didn't have a lot of role models around me. I didn't see a lot of girls, you know, graduating from high school and making it to college. And as I look back on my career and everything that I've been able to accomplish, and I look in the audience, I see my husband, and I really want to tell him thanks for his constant support, because it has always been true. You know, my family and my friends, my management team as well. And I also been here, seeing all the other athletes who have championed their career, and seeing, you know, just how much they have excelled. And your work empowers us. It empowers me as well to continue to strive for excellence. When I was 21 and I started competing, I always thought that, you know, I wanted to run 10.6. It was something that I dreamed about. And I had my son when I was 30, and it was after the 2016 Olympics when I had a toe injury. And had I followed the opinions of people and what they deem is possible for women, I wouldn't be here. When I had my son changed my life forever. It was my greatest blessing. It was my strength. It was my power. And I think it showed that as women, our careers are not stopped when we have kids.
Let's pick up that speech in just a moment. But we need to take a break here on both sides of the story.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30.
Let's continue to listen to Shelley Ann Fraser Price, Laureus Sportswoman of the Year. Yes, when we it's pretty short. We have just a minute and 38 minutes to go. All right, so let's hear the rest of Shelley Ann's speech.
We can go on to be more and become more, and we can evolve. And that has been the extraordinary thing that has changed my life. I came back, and I remember standing on the track. I was nervous because of the expectations. You know, people tell you that when you're 30, you should wrap it up, call it quits, you should go home, you should sit, because people love to put, limits on us as women. And I remember in 2019, my son was 2 years old, almost 3. And I stood at the line, not only for him, but for other women who will decide that I want to start a family. I want to come back at age 30. I want to come from injuries. I want to do this. They too can see me, and they will believe that it is possible. So I thank you so much, the Laureus Academy, for this award, and I pray that it will be an inspiration to all Jamaican young girls, mainly the girls from my Pocket Rocket Foundation, to know that there's no limits when you believe what you believe and continue to work hard, continue to inspire the next generation of women to understand that we are strong, we are powerful, and most importantly, we are fearless. So thank you very much.
Shelley Ann Fraser Price, her acceptance speech after having received the Laureus Sportswoman of the Year award. Well done, as usual, Shelley Ann Fraser Price. Let's continue with more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. If you're just tuning in, welcome. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we always like to remind our listeners that when we do this program, or in generally whatever we do, we like to think we stand on 4 legs: to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. We're on the subject of entrepreneurship right now. We want to celebrate another entrepreneur and another enterprise. And so we are happy to welcome at this time from J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited, CEO Nadine Gray. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. I'm speechless. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we are delighted to have you join us on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Can you give us an idea of how J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited came about?
Okay, sure I can. Well, it started from working with another company, and in doing so, I started to do my broker course. After completing the broker course, I decided to apply for my broker application. So in that aspect, I went and registered my business, and once I got approved by customs, that's how we came about.
How long did all of that take?
All right, so I did the course at mine in 2015. We're still working with someone.
That you said MIND, right? That's Management
Right.
Institute for National Development.
That's correct.
Yes.
So at the time, I was still working with someone. I got laid off, unfortunately, in 2018. And that's when my passion was to say, hey, I need to get my foot going and put my business on the platform.
And I'm sure just now you meant to say that you meant to use the word fortunately rather than unfortunately, because fortunately it has worked out for you, hasn't it?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yes. And so, well, it's one thing to set up the enterprise. It's another thing to get customers to come to you, to trust you, to buy into your brand of logistics and related services. How were you able to achieve that?
Well, like I said, I've been in the industry from as far back as 97. I have been a broker clerk. I have worked with companies, individuals who know me, and based on my rapport, we were able to start working together as my company based on the track record and the customer service that I offer to them.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the services for those listening to us? They might be thinking, well, sounds like a small operation you have there. I wonder how much you can offer in such a small operation. What would you say?
It is a small operation, but we offer a lot of service as it relates to custom broking. We offer import services where we do documentation clearances for everyone, individuals, companies, businesses. If the person is a returning resident or returning student, we offer that as well. We also do export services. So we are a freight forwarder, and anyone who requires the services of having the freight forwarder do the processing of the export, that's whether full container load, less than container load, we offer that, whether by air or sea.
And how convenient are your hours?
Well, my working hours are 8:30 to 4:30 p.m., Monday to Friday. However, I work beyond those times. So not because the office closes mean that I am not in office working.
Oh, you're like a doctor on call then.
That's correct.
I see. And where's the area of greatest demand in terms of the services you offer?
That will be more on the import side. So majority of my customers, they are used car dealers. So I do a lot of clearances for motor vehicles. And I also have customers who do container loads or less than container loads, such as like the barrels or the barrels, drums, pallets, those type of shipments.
Yes, I've been noticing that Kingston Wharves and Jamaica Customs, etc., that they've been trying to put in place certain mechanisms to make life a little better in terms of whenever they have to do business with logistics services like you have. How's that working out?
Well, so far, the custom aspect really came into effect on May the 1st. Kingston Wharf started their process as where they're offering to individuals. So I don't remember what it's called, where they are offering that they don't have to come in and they can utilize their services of getting the bundle clear and delivered to their house.
Mm-hmm.
Customs now offer where it's a contactless clearance where they don't have to come in, but they did a preliminary thing in, I think, late October, but it came in effect May 1st. It's not mandatory. If you want that service, you indicate it.
Oh.
So it's up to, they this time around they indicated that if you need that service, you just indicate it to your logistic agent, and the paperwork would have to be done to indicate that accordingly.
Yes. And how all things being equal, how efficient would you say you and your team have been in processing the import and export and as well as logistic needs of your clients?
Very efficient. as it relates to that aspect. As I said, most of our clients are car dealers, so we generally get their paperwork done the very same day. It's a hand-in-hand process. Once they send their proper documentation to us, we do their entries, we send them back to them by email. They will then make the payment. Our turnaround time is around 2 to 4 working days.
And
not at all.
we know that you were recently at the JM Expo Jamaica 2023. How was it for you and your team at J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited?
Well, we weren't actually there with a booth. We just went there as a regular public
patrons. Yes,
that's correct. So overall, the expo was lovely, was great. I went to a lot of booths, but I focused mainly on the aspect of the shipping companies that I were able to hand out my flyers, give a few cards here and there, so I'll promote the company.
Mm-hmm. And can you give us an idea of some of the countries that you've done business with, from right here in Jamaica?
Okay, Canada, UK, Grand Cayman, Brazil, just to name a few.
And which one do you have to relate to more often than not? Which of those countries?
I would say between Canada and I forgot to mention Japan, because there's where most of the cars come from. So between Canada and Japan.
I see. So it's mostly cars coming in from Japan.
Pardon me?
Mostly cars that are coming in from Japan.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. And what do we get from or send to Canada, generally speaking?
All right. So I'm an agent for a company in Canada where they offer less than container load, what we call consolidated containers.
Mm-hmm.
So I deal with the persons who have the barrels, whether the 1 barrel, the 2 barrels, crates. Sometimes motor vehicles are in there, so cargo of that nature.
Sounds like you have quite a mix.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. And we know that we continue to have a deficit in Jamaica where we import more than we export. Is there any particular area where you have noticed growth, whether coming in the form of imports or going out as exports?
Well, for imports, majority of that, from my aspect point of view, would be motor vehicles. Mm-hmm. I have now noticed since there have been some changes to the export side where the persons have to be registered. There's also an allowance given where if their value is below $500, then they don't pay a processing fee to customs. So I've realized I'm getting more traction of calls for persons wanting to do exports such as personal effects, household items, you name it.
What about those small businesses or small and medium-sized businesses? Because the company's office tells us that we have had an increase in the number of people registering their businesses, and a lot of them are using platforms such as Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter, etc. And so the thinking is that with more of that kind of activity, is any of that connected to the traffic that you see from time to time?
Yes, because we are on Google Maps, so we get a lot of persons reaching out to us from those platforms. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, but just today, someone called me where they Googled wanted to do export, and our company came up. So that is bringing in a lot of traction.
All right, hold on, don't move. Let's pick it up after the break. Listeners, we're celebrating the spirit of entrepreneurship right now here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited. The CEO is Nadine Gray. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Every time my son send the liquor ball for me, I have to go sit down and walk all day like me not have nothing else to do. No, sir, you not fair do this. Tired of spending all day at the wharf to clear your barrel? Driver, turn up that little bit for me there. Starting May 1, use contactless clearance to clear your non-commercial shipments and avoid the long wait. Call Jamaica Customs today at 876-922-51408 or email contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm. But God goody, me go call customs and learn about the contactless clearance. Yeah.
less waiting, more convenience. Try Customs contactless clearance today.
The Gleaner Company Media Limited wishes to advise that its switchboard is currently out of service. Please call them at 876-619-6397 while they work to restore access through the switchboard. They apologize for any inconvenience that this may cause. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
Supreme Real Estate, licensed real estate dealers, the experts in residential, commercial, industrial, hotels, and villa sales, rentals, and leases. Supreme Real Estate, Main Street, Salem, Runaway Bay, St. Anne. Call 876-973-5026 or 876-973-6142 and email supremerealestate@cwjamaica.com.
Energize your life the right way with DBJ. Yeah, you must can save. Energy solution. Choose one today for your house or your business. Money you go save. Yeah, DBJ. Energize your life the right way. The Development Bank of Jamaica Limited is here to help you with the purchase and installation of renewable energy systems to help you save on your energy bill. Contact your business banker or bank today. Energize your business or home the right way with DBJ Energy Loan.
We didn't make it the full man, so read and read all you can.
It is Read Across Jamaica Day in this Education Week 2023. This is Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, the story of Jamaica and Jamaicans at home and abroad. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we've been featuring another of our entrepreneurs this afternoon. That's Nadine Gray. She's the Chief Executive Officer of J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited. And I think just before we took the break, you were speaking on the subject of those micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises who are finding you online via Google Maps or whatever other means and connecting with you on social media platforms to facilitate trade. How big a business is that right now, based on what you've been experiencing so far?
It's not as big as I would hope it to be. Like you said, the export side is still way low than what the import aspect is. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy to see that persons are now gearing up and they want to do export. They want to send out the ground provisions. They want to send out the herbs and stuff like that. So that's a great move for Jamaica on a whole.
Yeah, that's encouraging. And in terms of your ability to effectively manage your relatively small enterprise to maximum effect, how have you been able to do that? Because I'm sure you have the usual expenses, don't you?
Yes, we do. But I am grateful. We have, even in the pandemic, our business has grown where we have gotten more customers. So that increased volume of work has helped to deal with our overhead expenses.
Right, because you said you started in 2018, right?
Well, 2019
2019.
officially.
Okay. So maybe a soft launch in 2018, but really official and out there in 2019.
That's correct.
So what was that period like for you business-wise when you recognized what was happening? By the time 2020 came around, well, late 2019, early 2020, when talk of this virus in China hit the airwaves. What were some of the implications for you? How did you navigate that period in the history of this country and the world?
Like I said, actually, I thought business would have slowed down, but every day I was at work because one of our IDs that I have allows us to travel within that period. So I was at work every single day, and even though every day might not be that you had a lot of work doing, but every day there was something to be done, whether it's to clear 2 or 3 cars, do a few entries. We always had work coming in.
Oh,
and that is something I was very grateful for, knowing that where we just started and then boom, the pandemic hit.
But of course, it's a classic case of the Chinese symbol for opportunity is the same one for what's the other half? But the same symbol for opportunity is the same symbol for failure or something to that effect. But clearly, you were able to turn that around or to seize the moment. You could also have responded another way by saying, "I'm not into this right because I don't want to catch this thing and whatever, so I'm out of here." But you chose, or did you?
Ride the wave? No, I never ever had that intention. This was something I've been longing for, to be a custom broker. I have been working extremely hard to get there. So the fact that I got to that level which I wanted to reach, I went very hard. Wow. Very hard. So look customers, stuff like that. So when I just started off, I zoomed in on car dealers. So I went on the Triggered website. I posted it to see who had just got registered with their dealership license. So for most of my customers, they were new as myself. So we were, as I told them, we will go together. So they were just getting their license. As a dealership, I was just just getting on with my broker license. So we go together. So that's what I zoomed in on and factored those persons. And then after then, I transitioned to looking at other customers, getting registered with Jampro as an exporter to take on other aspects and not just saying, oh, I'm going to just do imports only.
And what can you tell us with respect to your initial expectations of the business and the ultimate outcome as of now? Is it as far as night is from day in terms of how things have worked out?
Well, I will not quote to say things, and I'll go on further to say I think I'm blessed because things have worked out way more than I expected it would have things to be when I just started out, and I'm blossoming right now, and I'm trying to reach at my peak where I can deliver even in a shorter period of time. But there are other external factors that will be working against me. But I try my best to be on top of my game when it comes to pleasing my customers and ensuring that they get good service.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And do you have a situation where you have where maybe a family member or some other some colleague working with you just to ensure that there's a level of continuity, perhaps when you have to travel or when you have other engagements, so they're not totally dependent on you to make things happen?
Yes, I do. At the moment, well, I have two persons working with me, and one of the persons is my niece. So I brought her in and started training her to learn to know to do the documentation for the customer. So when she just came in, I taught her how to prepare the documents for the persons who have the barrels and so forth. So she would have concentrated on those customers. And now I have bring her up to speed where she is able to now do the entries for the cars for the customers. Of course, I pre-check them before they are actually sent to custom for them to access it. But that's where we are. And she's at a level where I feel comfortable. I may not taken a trip since I've started the business, but I have taken a small vacation here and there in the island. If she needs my assistance, I'm there to follow through and see that everything still runs smooth from where I'm at.
Oh, very good. Well, what is the future looking like now? Having experienced all you have experienced thus far, what are your projections? What is your hope for your enterprise, your business?
All right, so on my platform, some of the things that I have in mind, I want to launch my courier services. That is in the pipeline just now with a company in the USA, Jacksonville to be exact. So we are working together to streamline the database both from their side to our side. So that will be one of the aspects we have coming on soon. I also am looking to get some new agents to work with. Agents I'm looking forward to work with is out of the UK where they send containers on a weekly basis to me. That's consolidated cargoes. I'm also looking out of the US for that aspect as well, from the New York prospect. So those are some of the stuff that I am working towards, and hopefully I'm able to capitalize on those stuff.
Yes. And what is the busiest time of the year for you? I think I know the answer, but I'm asking anyway.
The busiest time is generally, it starts around, I would say, late September and goes back to probably December, early January.
Okay. And the general outlook is favorable. What would you say to others listening now who perhaps have hopes of starting a similar enterprise as far as logistics, imports, and exports are concerned? Any cautionary message or lesson you'd like to transmit to them so that they can have that seed planted mentally?
Well, what I would tell them, if you're going to start this business, make sure you're professional in doing it.
Mm.
Customer service is number one, because you can get a call from someone and you might think that person is probably not going to come back, but the way you deliver yourself and how you give the information to them, they might not necessarily be the one coming back, but they will also recommend other persons to you. Reliability, trustworthy, that's key. Because sometimes when I get calls, person will tell me, I don't want to send the money, because I get scam or something. So you have to know to deliver yourself, to let them feel at ease, let them be aware that you're doing this and your word is your bond.
Yes.
And you bring across yourself in such a manner that they can say, yes, the energy that I get from this individual sounds positive.
All right, hold it right there. Just check your contact details, because I'm going to ask you to just share those contact details when we come back from this break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness. Your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-41125 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And we're featuring entrepreneurs, a couple of entrepreneurs this afternoon on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Online right now, we have our very special guest who has been spending quite a bit of time with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. She is Nadine Gray, the Chief Executive Officer of J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited. And so as we wrap this interview, Nadine Gray, can you go ahead and leave some contact details and your handles and pages and other forms of connecting platforms?
Okay, sure. So we are, as I said earlier, we are on Facebook and Instagram, and the handles for those two are JN Logistics Marine Services. We are also on TikTok, and that's JN Logistics Marine SERVIC1, and our office numbers are 876-937-7928 and 876-677-4049. We are also on WhatsApp, and the number would be 876-389-5724. And that's my mobile line, which, as I said, I am always available. Send a message, a phone call, a WhatsApp message, put it into business, and you will get a response from us.
Sounds good. We want to thank you once again for joining us. Congratulations on your enterprise so far, J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited. We wish you all the success that life has to offer.
Thank you, Dervan, and thanks for having us.
It's been a pleasure. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Nadine Gray, the Chief Executive Officer of J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. And we're going straight to another Jamaican entrepreneur. This time, we're going to say hello and welcome to a lady of many parts, in a manner of speaking. And she's going to demonstrate that in just a moment. She is Trisha Carrara, owner of Elijah's Prince, J.A., author and education content creator. And let's say good afternoon and welcome. Welcome, Trisha Carrara. How are you?
Good Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I am doing well, thanks. Thank you so much for joining us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. It's good to have you on board.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Let's step back in time a bit and get a sense of how you have been shaped and molded to being who you are today.
Stepping back in time. So I have always been involved with children. Always the one playing, always the one disciplining, helping with the homework. Teacher's day, I'm at school. Sports day, track and field, I'm on the field. And with that, it seems as if it was more of a purpose than a passion that I didn't realize until about 3-4 years ago, when I started creating youth engagement products, both digital and print.
Oh, when was that, you said?
About 2018 was the very first idea for a book that came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that night clearly. I was actually going to retire, and this idea came to mind about an exercise book, and I thought it was crazy. And I said, Trisha, your laptop is off, you're going to bed, and in the morning you'll figure this out. And I remember taking my daughter to school, and the first thing I did when I returned was turn on the laptop, and whatever concept I had, I just started designing it in Photoshop. And that's when I realized I was onto something.
Wow.
Because even when I try to explain it to persons, they find it a little strange to grasp until they actually see the product and see the product in work. So that was Better and Determined exercise book titled BAD, which is an acronym I got from my daughter. She came home one day and said, BAD, Better and Determined. And that became the message behind the creation of that exercise book. And even I'm referring to it as an exercise book, it is because it has rule pages and can be used as an exercise book, but it's actually a self-discovery guide.
Oh, tell us more.
So, in a nutshell,
yes,
persons who are self-aware are more self-confident, are less inclined to violence, more inclined to be independent thinkers and independent learners. And so this exercise book on the cover, the outside cover has a Jamaican flag, which I sought permission. And it's also in the Jamaican colors, because for me, it is a way and means of encouraging our children to reconnect with their culture and reconnect with their youth.
Yes.
And at the same time, encouraging those, because the cover has a message, bad. If a child is seen as bad, or a child's behavior is interpreted as bad, let us get them into a space where they are better and determined. The inside cover basically thought-provoking questions about them. What are the things that you like? Tell me something about yourself. So, for example, I am Dervan Malcolm, and I enjoy interacting with persons. So now you're learning to identify things about yourself in the hope that you're not using someone else to be your guide.
Yes.
So Dervan was excellent at interacting with persons. He has great interpersonal skills, but I'm shy. Dervan should not become my guide for who I am, but identify my strengths, because I may be an excellent electrician. But I can say Dervan is good at his smile. So, maybe I can learn to smile a little bit more. You understand? So it's not about becoming someone else, it's identifying who you are. And then the other cover now speaks about Jamaica. Because of social media, persons are more exposed, which is fantastic. But what we tend to forget is that we forget our homegrown and our own, no matter where they are in the world.
Yes.
So there's a section that will say, identify Jamaican and speak about what he or she has accomplished. So now we're trying to get our children back home thinking that no matter where I am, no matter who I am, what school I attend, my address, my physical features, I can because another Jamaican did.
Yes.
So self-awareness, self-discovery, boosts self-confidence, and in the hope of boosting the education process and curbing violence, all in the same little exercise book. Because now the kids can now use exercise books during school for classwork, homework. Corporate Jamaica has the opportunity of branding, doing a session with the children during, for example, Child Month, and it becomes a gift. And the teachers now have an opportunity to use the words of the students as a means of motivating them.
Yes. And your intervention is rather timely, as you have pointed out. This is Child Month, and we still have so many issues to work on, and so much work to be done. And you seem to have been able to identify ways in which your work can impact different communities, groups, organizations having anything to do with children.
Yes, that's been my mission. So it's been interesting for me when I started this journey, because that's just one of two exercise books, and there are other books as well as digital resources. But when I started this journey, it excited me because I now realize that I have the opportunity of touching lives of kids that I would never meet, when I'm used to touching the lives of the kids that are immediately around me, in my children's classroom, on the field, So I now have the opportunity of touching lives of children who is around me. So the resources are there with children in mind.
And these are both print and digital versions.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're career guides, interest guides, ranges from early childhood to young adults. And yes, my passion is for youth. So I'm going to say early childhood to young adults, but I've had adults who have used my resources, both digital and print, and found them quite resourceful and quite useful. So you have an interest guide for an early childhood, and there's a lot of talk about making more of a difference at early childhood level.
Yes.
And an interest guide, because what it does, it helps also develop the children's techniques, their matching skills, their psychometric skills, their drawing and coloring. But what's more important about that book is that it allows for conversation with adults. So, for example, I remember hearing stories about myself at 5 and things that I would do. I am more technically minded. Now, what this interest guide will do is, children, we tend to know, or we tend to have an idea, is just for the adults to help them to explore and bring it out. And so you have references to various careers, and they'll take a sticker and to match it with these careers. Now, so if you show me a needle, I am not going to be excited. I'm going to be fearful. But if you show me a screwdriver, I'm going to be elated. Now you get your emotional engagement, and it helps you to identify the areas of your interest. It doesn't necessarily mean career. It may mean area of interest. So now the parents are more informed and equipped to guide this child, empower this child, help this child to better understand themselves, and put them in a better position to be good citizens.
Yes.
To identifying one's interest, which eventually could become a career. Just as I said in the beginning, I didn't know that my love for interacting with children would have had me sitting behind a laptop for hours. I don't like sitting. So the passion of wanting to connect has allowed me to create career guides, journals, mentorship guides, and as I mentioned, the 2 exercise books.
Yes.
And then with that, the digital resources, which again is for the same age group, early childhood, young adults, but adults can benefit. We have a shortage of mentors.
That's true.
There's a need, a great need, whether it is members of the diaspora or local. And both books and the digital resources can facilitate mentorship in our spaces, both digital and in person. So you have videos for early childhood children that's encouraging them to tie their laces, to fold their clothes, to pack their bags, to help out in the home, help out in the kitchen, and teach them to be responsible and be independent.
That sounds quite useful. Hold it there. We need to take a break here on both sides of the story. Listeners, our guest is Trisha Carrara. She is owner of Elijah's Prince, J.A. She's an author and education content creator and offering both print and digital resources. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Chad Ad Distributors are the island-wide distributors of the popular Maxxis tires, plus Sumitomo, Falcon, and Solidil. For batteries, Mayatsu, AC Delco, and for lubricants, it's Petro Canada. Visit us at 87 to 91 First Street, Newport West. Telephone 901-6612 or 383-4363. Chad Ad Distributors Limited, your place to retire.
The Gleaner Company Media Limited wishes to advise that its switchboard is currently out of service. Please call them at 876-619-6397 while they work to restore access through the switchboard. They apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
Every time my son send the liquor ball for me, I have to go sit down all day like me not have nothing else to do. No, sir, you not fear do this. Tired of spending all day at the wall to clear your barrel? Driver, turn up that liquor bit for me there. Starting May 1, use contactless clearance to clear your non-commercial shipments and avoid the long wait. Call Jamaica Customs today at 876-922-51408 or email contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jf. But God goody, me go call customs and learn about the contactless clearance. Hook me up.
Less waiting, more convenience. Try Customs contactless clearance today.
So read and read all you can. Join a library or buy a book and give it more than just a passing look. Direct alone and shall not split, but from words of put you have much to give.
The collective voices of students at Mona Primary School. I would imagine by now they would have long graduated and gone on to greater things, and would love to see a story somewhere or to get word of how these singing children of Mona Primary School have fared in this wide world, and indeed wild world. It is Child Month. This is Read Across Jamaica Day. This week is Education Week, and tomorrow is Teachers' Day. Good afternoon if you're just tuning in. I'm Dervan Malcolm. The program is Both Sides of the Story of Jamaica and Jamaicans at home and abroad. And our guest is Trisha Carrara, Carrara. Trisha, Trisha, Trisha Carrara, owner of Elijah's Prince, J.A., author and education content creator. And she has been sharing with us her work so far, using both print and digital resources and providing the tools, some of the tools necessary in interactions and engagements with not just children, but a wide cross-section of individuals. And so, Trisha, thank you very much for holding the line. Thank you for staying on. Want to get an idea now of how our listeners at home and abroad can access your material, both print and digital, for their respective work.
As it relates to, the print material, that's currently available online at elijahsprint.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's ELIJAHSPRINT.com. KeepNTS.com. The digital resources are available on YouTube at Keep Encouraging Yourself. That's the YouTube channel. And that website is keepencouragingyourself.com.
Okay. And where is the area of demand for you now, where you're getting requests or people are seeking you out to share with their respective groups, etc.?
So I do engagement sessions, and where I find most needed is the understanding of career path in terms of, and that varies.
So the need for career counseling,
management and development.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, you're having conversations with young persons, and you may make a suggestion, write a resume.
Yes.
But miss, me not have nothing what me do with a resume. And you will ask, what are the clubs that you're involved in? What are the things that you do in your community? Have you done any summer courses? And then you have the conversation, what are the things that you're interested in? And through that conversation, I'm able to guide them as to what's important for their resume at their age. And then you tend to get the moment. And through that, now you can see the sparkle in the eyes. And I said, you didn't look at yourself from that angle, did you? No. So generally, if I'm having a session, you find that the kids are maybe more reserved. But once I get one of them talking,
Yes.
and then I start the engagement, then the questions start bombarding. And you hear who wants to do what and why they want to do it and how. And, you start asking clothing questions. Why do you want to go into clothing? What aspect of clothing? What age group? And then you sit and starting to think. So now they're able to better fine-tune what it is that they want to do. They have a better understanding of their own value.
Yes.
So I'm speaking with a young man the other day, and I was quite impressed to find out he's here. My age is going to show up now. Fourth form, grade 10. There you go. And he has a certificate in cybersecurity.
Oh wow!
I was rather impressed.
Mm.
And I said, have you written your resume? And he said he went looking for jobs and he didn't say anything. And I said, no, young man, this is how we do this. Your resume, put that on, put what your interests are, what you've done in your community, whether it is at home, at school, or place of worship. Add that to your resume. And I had to speak to him about a cover letter because he didn't understand that there was a difference. And he now sees himself different, and I could hear it through his voice. The moment, oh my gosh, I didn't have brought all of this to the table. So it is basically having the children understand and become more self-aware. And that happens with either the products, both books and digital. So in that space, there's a sessions where I would play a video and then I'd have a conversation with the students. And that varies. Talk about sports. They've spoken about frustrations of school. They've spoken about career interests. They've spoken about issues with friends. So there's no one topic, because the way in which I crafted the videos is that the conversations can flow. I actually call them conversation starters. Is that the conversations can flow and the children get a chance to express themselves. Mm-hmm. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, indeed. And now, in terms of the marketing of your brand, Elijah's Prince J.A., are you settled as to the approach that you have taken thus far, or are you looking to further sharpen your marketing component?
Constant sharpening. Constant sharpening, because the dynamics vary.
Yes.
Having a conversation with a young man, and he was just determined he wanted to do football, but he attended a private school. Why didn't you go to a club? He looked at me, he didn't think about that. Mm-hmm. So now he's no longer interested in football because of his age, but he's now looking at another career path. So with him, and then we have a conversation with another set, with another group, it varies. And so the dynamics changes, so I'm always having to adapt and be flexible.
Mm-hmm. And we hear a lot about failing schools or failing students or students leaving school and not being able to do some of the things you would expect them to be able to do at this or that age. How have you found in instances where you have had to interact with these youngsters? What do they tell you? I mean, do you try to get an understanding as to why they are not operating at the level at which they should be? I mean, mind you, I know you have to do it in a studied way, so to speak, and in a compassionate way. But we're curious to get a sense of some of your findings dealing with working with our children.
You find that there is insecurities. Hence, I speak a lot about self-awareness.
Yes.
You find that there's insecurities. And sometimes they themselves are not understanding of why. Sometimes the issue is the lack of understanding of one's attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has strengths and weaknesses.
True.
It's understanding those strengths and understanding how to manage the weakness. So you go into a space and you are not aware of how to communicate or to handle yourself. So you become quiet or reserved, or you don't enter that space. But there's an opportunity for personal growth in that space. There's an opportunity for connection and networking in that space. And through the conversation, you would learn more about yourself. You will learn that, I need to smile more like Dervan. But if we're not in a space where we're welcoming the personal growth and understanding that we all have weaknesses, we all have different stages of growth, then you have the situations where children are not progressing because they're constantly beating down on themselves.
Yes.
They're constantly saying that I am not capable, I am not able, I'm too brown, I'm not brown enough, I'm too black, I'm not black enough. In Jamaican term, my eyes are pretty, my hair not pretty. You have that kind of, or my address, I don't live in a big house on the hill. These are issues that affect them. And then there's also skills development.
Yes.
Something that we may not realize is important, time management. I've often said and shared that a lot of our children are not excelling because they're not capable. They're not managing their time.
Yeah.
They're not organized. And then as they grow, they themselves don't realize it, and they take this into the workplace. And they may think that the boss don't like them because of where they're coming from or the school that they attended or for whatever reason. When it's in truth and in fact your skill set, you're not coping. It's your attitude, you're not willing to learn because you don't feel as if you're from a space where you're worthy. So when you're corrected, you take it personal.
Yes.
So there's a combination of factors. So for example, Your Dreams, that's my smallest book, but it's also my values and attitude guide. It has a section for goal setting. It has a section for time management. Because those skill sets are basic, but it's not something that's necessarily taught in school. Financial management, future planning, a lot of our kids don't really have much hope because they don't really have anything to look forward to. If you're not the lawyer or the doctor, well, nowadays we're more accepting of other fields. Giving them a little bit of hope will give them a reason to want to learn, to have something to look forward to. So there's hence my saying it's a constant sharpening, and I'm always having to adapt because it varies from space to space. You go to one school, the conversation is different for what the challenges are, and then you go into another space, and you're deeply moved and alarmed at the realities that those teachers are facing.
Yes.
So it's the ability to adapt. To speak to what you just asked, there's the concern of our children who are underperforming. Whether we want to talk about it or not, there are a lot of children who are not able to read and write at the secondary level. With that in mind, it's important that whenever I put out a video, that there's a voiceover. because in that way we still have the opportunity of connecting with these children.
Yes.
So every video has a voiceover, which affects how often I can put up videos because the process that's involved.
Mm-hmm.
But every video has a voiceover, so wherever you are, you can have a session with a child in your community. You can have a session in your place of worship. You can have a session at home. You can have a session at school. Members of the diaspora can have sessions with children in Jamaica. Let's have the conversation.
Hold on, don't move. One moment, please.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:13.
Join Alvin McKenzie during Farm Talk every second Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for a special feature that provides useful information on the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority, JACRA, and the role they play in Jamaica's agricultural sector.
Up to
This
4.
feature is brought to you by the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority, JACRA, 1 Willow Henry Drive, Kingston. That's the JACRA special feature every second Tuesday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
The Gleaner Company Media Limited wishes to advise that its switchboard is currently out of service. Please call them at 876-619-6397 while they work to restore access through the switchboard. They apologize for any inconvenience caused. The Gleaner, where life unfolds. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. We've been featuring the work of Trisha Carrara, owner of Elijah's Prince J.A., author and education content creator. And going to the break, you were saying, let's talk. We're over time right now, but want to give you an opportunity to complete whatever unfinished thought you might have had just before we took the break just now.
Thank you for that opportunity. So basically, let's have the conversation. And sometimes if we are using another resource, it helps with the conversation. So using a digital resource or a print resource, and having a conversation with a child would help smooth over things that need to be said and help the message to get across much more easier.
Right. And so now, as we wrap, for our listeners whose interest has been piqued, whose minds have been stimulated by all that you've had to share so far, and they want to read more, they want to learn more, they want to perhaps even invite you to their space to add value to whatever exercises they might deem necessary. Let's get those contact details and those connection points and those platforms and handles and pages, etc.
Thank you. So contact number is 876-835-2465. The Instagram and the Facebook handle is Elijah's Prince JA. The website is elijahsprince.com or keepencouragingyourself.com, as well as YouTube channel.
Well, thank you very much. We'll be checking those sources with a view to learning more and tracking the development of your enterprise, Elijah's Prince J.A. Thank you so much, Trisha, All the very best, and we look forward to the next installment.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me, and thank you to your listeners. Have a good one.
It's been a pleasure. Take care. Trisha Carrara, owner of Elijah's Prince J.A. She's an author and education content creator. This is Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. And it's time now for us to clear some more of your messages and take your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Our text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to Sean Chambers, who's greeting us on YouTube. Donovan Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, and listeners. To you too, Donovan. Asha Ash says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Have a nice day. And you do likewise, Asha Ash in the UK. Good afternoon to Valerie Thompson. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Have a blessed day. Same to you, Valerie Thompson. Inez Ayona Campbell, good afternoon to you too. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much. Let's check in with our text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. All right, let's see now. This one says, good morning to you, Sir Dervan Malcolm, and all saints of the Most Holy. Good morning. Well, it's afternoon now. Good afternoon to you. And this one from Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. Looks like he's sharing a video with us, which we'll have to check before playing it on air. Rico, somebody who's called Rico, says, breaking news. The news media teams of RGR and Nationwide Radio were through, well, this was in the news. This is one of the stories that has been in the news. And so apparently someone by the name of Rico has his own news channel, like so many people these days. Thank you very much for your message. We did get that breaking news a long time ago. So I would imagine it's no longer breaking, but it is trending and should be taken seriously. Let's see. Who is this now? JN Circle Thrive Together live class happening tomorrow, Wednesday, the 10th of May, 6:30 in the evening. And the topic, swiping left on toxic relationships, finding healthy love in a hookup culture. Uh-oh. All right, so that's being put out by the JN Bank through their foundation, Circle, the JN Circle, Thrive Together, their live class, tomorrow evening at 6:30. And we wish them all the best in that endeavor. So if you need more information, you can go to ja.myjncircle.com/thrive. That's ja.myjncircle.com/thrive. And this is tomorrow evening at 6:30. The host, Kamala McQuinney. And you can register by going to ja.myjncircle.com/thrive. Let's clear some more of these messages. Who is this now? Whoa. This is a bit lengthy, and there's a voice note which we haven't been able to listen to. beforehand. Where does it start? Where does this message start? Private Chef, Miss Pamela Pitter. This is the day that the Lord hath made. The upbeat version. Who else is dancing in Tuesday Mercies? Ask this person who sent this message. And Mom passed away 2015, visiting my family home after so many years, and our bookshelf is still intact. Sidney Sheldon, Mills and Boone, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Old Yeller, Tom Sawyer's Huckleberry Finn. Some good times reading at home, great parents. Funny story, but true. It wasn't until high school that we realized Mom couldn't read. Best believe she listened to us read, checked our books, Mom, Dad, our source of literacy. Notice the condition of the books over 30 years old. That's quite a story. You should write a book about that. And then the rest of this message. My primary school had 40 students. I thought school was a country by itself. Back then, teachers were God respected, worshipped. My class of 40 and one teacher. Kids then knew learning was a must. Also remember, it's the same teacher doing PE drama, teaching poetry, nature by H.D. Carberry. One teacher accomplished so much. It was amazing. Every kid's ambition was to become a teacher. Parents changed, whatever that is, not sure, legal at 16 before you can work. Get a college education. So the government said you don't need education or employment. Okay, well, this person has something else in mind as well. But anyway, thanks for your messages. We have read your messages, and all the more reason why we need to listen to your voice note beforehand. But thank you for sharing. Deandra has also sent us a voice note, which we haven't been able to listen to just yet. James in East London is sharing with us the usual collection of stories from the United Kingdom. And the stories at a glance. Terrifying bloodstains splatter London Road after weekend of brutal violence in the capital, which has seen 3 people fatally stabbed. A Londoner has described the aftermath of another shocking knife fight, which resulted in blood being splattered across a busy street. Officers made 64 arrests on Saturday during a series of demonstrations by anti-monarchy groups. The Met Police is facing questioning over the arrests of dozens of people during the King's coronation and concerned that heavy-handed policing affected the right to protest. There's a photo of Lionel Richie and the King. And Lionel Richie's photo, we're told, at King's coronation sparks divide. Lionel Richie attended the King's coronation ceremony held at Westminster Abbey as the legendary performer gears up for the big concert tonight. Lionel Richie, 73, was joined by Julie Bishop, the former Australian Minister of Foreign Affairs, on Saturday alongside Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and other state leaders from around the world. East London man killed his wife and stuffed her body in a suitcase before dumping it in River Lee. Oh dear. What a tragedy. New proposed UK and EU rules would require tech giants to view and pass information about your private messages and photos to the police and government under the guise of detecting child abuse content. Meta, the owner of WhatsApp, is considering pulling the popular private messaging app from the UK over an ongoing row regarding the contentious proposed online safety bill. Ministers have been warned. A 15-year-old boy from South London has been charged with murder after a man was stabbed to death. Ben Moncrief, 18, was killed in Bath City Centre in the early hours of Saturday morning, May 6. Those are just some of the stories that James in East London has shared with us. More in a moment.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 7543714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is 3:45.
Both sides of the story.
Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
The Gleaner Company Media Limited wishes to advise that its switchboard is currently out of service. Please call them at 876-619-6397 while they work to restore access through the switchboard. They apologize for any inconvenience caused. The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
Give it more than just a passing look. My bread alone and shall not slip. From words of good, still have much to give. Mixing from old to new, some serious, some musing too. You'll understand, appreciate with the words we think. Communicate to vast distractions of today we'll see. Reading every day is the missing link. So raise your knowledge and that you, it gives you confidence in you. Reading make us a full man. So read and read all you can.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Natalie Winter. She says, great afternoon all. Looking good, Dervan. Please enjoy your day and keep doing great work. I really appreciate you. You really keep me going in the afternoon, keeping me informed in the days. You're very kind, Natalie. Thank you very much for your message. Here are some more WhatsApp messages. Good afternoon, Dervan. What happened last evening at the PNP headquarters is very much unacceptable. To see us drop in the rank of press freedom, and now this is further concerning. Indeed it is. Very concerning. Driver in America says, greetings, Brother Dervan. Please ask your guest what advantage or advantages her business offer returning residents in clearing their shipments. I'm so sorry I missed your message while we had our guest online. So sorry about that, driver in America. But her contact details are online, and the name of the firm. The name of the firm. I'm just bringing it up. That's J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited. Driver in America. Hope you're hearing this. J&N Logistics and Marine Services Limited. The CEO is Nadine Gray. That's the CEO, Nadine Gray. And thank you for the prompt, although I didn't see it in time. Opportunity and crisis, driver in America. Thank you very much. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I think Mr. Warmington started all this gutter politics when he called Mr. Colin Bell chink and fleas, and Mr. Vaz egging him on, and Mr. Vaz even taking it further. Sir, what role does the political abuse man play political abuse man play in these kinds of political scuffles? And what are the standing orders for how politicians conduct themselves in our political codes of conduct when we conducting business on behalf of the taxpayers of Jamaica? Another thread of message is, Sir Malcolm, one of our greatest talents as Jamaicans is hospitality. And I noticed as a people, some of us have abandoned hospitality. As a people, we must not forget our heritage and principles. It's the foundation we have to build on for our future generations of Jamaicans. The attack on the journalists last evening is wrong and must be condemned, and if necessary, disciplinary action taken against any individuals who are sporting violence at 89 Old Hope Road or anywhere in Jamaica. Violence cannot solve any disagreements. Dialogue, cooperation, and consensus do. The PNP has to set a better example and standards of operation. Sir Malcolm, I noticed that the Kingston Public Hospital is having a problem with spaces for our mental patients and providing proper treatment and healthcare for those patients. This problem draws us on the neglect of the Bellevue Mental Hospital, which, if was attended to by the government, would have been able to deal effectively with this problem. But overall, Sir Malcolm, the treatment of our government or governments towards the elderly, children, and adults is appalling. Sir Malcolm, what is the purpose of government? Sir Malcolm, what is happening at the Reparations Commission? The public needs regular updates on the process and work that is taking place on a monthly or weekly schedule. And are we as a nation beginning to plan and implement good ideas, how we're going to fix our people, fix Jamaica and all its problems, and make an investment to our future Jamaicans, and that Jamaicans will never live like this ever again in the future. So, Malcolm, we have to get our kids and adults equipped, trained, and skilled, ready to take on the work world and technological development to tackle the future of work once they leave school and have to take on work responsibilities. Time is very important, Sir Malcolm. No one can bring back the hand of time. Here we say time is money and money is time, because time paid for is time wasted, and we can never recover that time wasted even unto our graves. So time management is very important if you are to become successful young people. Not time wasted. I'm sorry, he says. Thanks, James in East London, for keeping us updated on matters concerning Jamaican family members in London. All of those messages from Cuban in Georgia. Here's one from Crocs in Black River. He says, greetings. If you choose to wear red into a pen where there is a bull, you are provoking that bull. You would better be armed with your sword and cape. From Crocs in Black River. Not sure if that has anything to do with the two journalists who just happened to have been sporting green when they tried to cover the demonstration, the protest action at the People's National Party's headquarters yesterday evening. Thanks for your message, Crocs in Black River. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Karine Campbell has joined us. She says, good day, Mr. Malcolm, viewers and listeners. Good day to you too, Karine Campbell. Good to have you on board. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Share with you a bit of history in the meantime. Let's go to the year 1494. After spending 3 days at Dry Harbor, and another name for Dry Harbor is Puerto Seco, which means dry harbor, Puerto Seco. So in 1494, after spending 3 days at Dry Harbor, popularly known as Puerto Seco, where he first landed in Jamaica, Christopher Columbus sailed further west along the coast and arrived at a gulf he named El Golfo de Bien Tiempo, the Gulf of Fairweather, now known as Montego Bay. So if you missed those two pieces of history, on this day in 1494, after spending 3 days at Dry Harbor, otherwise known as Puerto Seco, where he first landed in Jamaica, Christopher Columbus sailed further west along the coast and arrived at a gulf he named El Golfo de Bien Tiempo, the Gulf of Fair Weather, the Gulf of Fair Weather, now known as Montego Bay. In 1509, on this day, Christopher Columbus left Spain on his final trip to the New World in 1509. In 1660, Runaway Bay in St. Anne is so named because it is claimed that this was the port from which Don Cristobal de Sassy, the last Spanish governor pursued by the English, left the island. This was after he fought for 5 years to recapture the island from the English. Ye Sassy escaped to Cuba, arriving there on this day in 1660. This brought an end to Spanish occupation of Jamaica, and the island was officially ceded to England by the Treaty of Madrid. The first newspaper cartoon in America appeared on this day in 1754. Joseph Bramah patented the beer pump handle. The beer pump handle was patented on this day in 1785. In 1800, John Brown was born. What a famous name that has been. 1800, John Brown was born. He was a revolutionary abolitionist from the United States who advocated and practiced armed insurrection as a means to abolish slavery for good. 1845, a significant year in Jamaica's history, the first 261 indentured laborers from India arrived at Old Harbor Bay in St. Catherine on board the Blundell Hunter. They were processed by immigration officers and allowed to land and travel to Hal's Hall. Can we remember how to pronounce that place name? Halsehall. Hal's Hall. It never was and never will be Hall's Hall. It's Hal's Hall. So the immigration officers processed the indentured laborers, and they were allowed to land and travel to Hal's Hall, Clarendon, and the Marmy Gull Estates. That was the name back then, apparently, where they had been contracted to work. Born on this day in 1860, James Matthew Barrie, the author of Peter Pan and the Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up. And some of us would be familiar with those books. And a good day to remind ourselves is on a day like today, Read Across Jamaica Day. The great shipbuilder Henry J. Kaiser was born on this day in 1882. More in a moment.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
The following is an excerpt from the sectoral presentation of the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Delroy Chuck.
Junior! Remember, say you have to tell the goat them out of field. It's supposed to all this and make sure you cut them off. Because a whole lot tree I miss now, I picked them teeth last month. I mean, I right.
Yes, mommy. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mommy! Oi! 2 of the goats them missing, you know. Good them.
See from father.
I wonder if it's them boy they from down the lane teeth, me goat them, God.
Is we are talking?
No, man, so I don't walk this boy them, man. You don't know what I miss now, my pinch make one day. I tell me, she have a sneaking suspicion, says them did not pick off our pig them one. You know what, Junior? Call the police for me there.
Mommy, police are coming up. But before they reach, you sure you want to make this thing reach as far as court? You have to be sure for them. And your master never live bad before. You have options, you know.
The only option I want is to get back my goat them. Master Run! Master Run! What you know about the missing goat them?
Lad, Mama, how do you really come call me out of my house and ask me, say?
I don't want to come try to take me ears and I'm coming more say you know, so the whole lane have it say you are your teeth in pick them. I see people livestock around the place and I want to get back what is mine here.
Nah, God, I want to make them boys stop putting me in trouble, man.
Look here, Aaron. We need me goat them, sir.
Mommy, you even money if you go court. You can go to the Restorative Justice Center down the road now. They will make the two and talk this out and make the legal agreement so you can get back on the things. Nobody have to pay a lawyer fee and you still get justice. And most importantly, you can live in a peace after this.
Good morning. I received a call about some missing livestock.
Officer, good morning. My son called you, but before this get too far, right? My team want to try the restorative justice of my junior. Tell them about because I don't want to go through the rigmarole. We just want to find out them right now.
Yes, the restorative justice program is good if you don't want to make a statement. You know, they have about 18 centers across the island, at least one in every parish. It's a really good program. Come, I have some restorative justice files in my van. I always travel with them to inform people about the program.
And that is when we realize that the court them missing.
Marva, thank you for sharing your side of the story with us here at the Restorative Justice Center. Masran, please tell us your side of the story. RJ is a new way of dealing with conflict which embraces methods that can assist with the long-term healing Jamaica needs from the violence and aggression in our country. For more information on the Restorative Justice Program and to find the Restorative Justice Center nearest to you, send an email to restorative.justice@moj.gov.jm or call 876
I guess I could.
5527.
Although that then becomes after 4.
The proceeding was an excerpt from the sectoral presentation of the Minister of Justice,
Sorry.
Honorable Delroy Chuck.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:03. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:03. Well, the time just changed. 现在地点了4:04. 4 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Let's check in with more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We mentioned that on this day in 1882, the great shipbuilder Henry J. Kaiser was born. Henry J. Kaiser was an American industrialist who became known as the father of modern American shipbuilding. He established the Kaiser Shipyard, which built Liberty ships during World War II, after which he formed Kaiser Aluminum and Kaiser Steel. Kaiser organized Kaiser Permanente healthcare for his workers and their families. He led Kaiser Frazer, followed by Kaiser Motors, automobile companies known for the safety of their designs. Kaiser was involved in large construction projects such as civic centers and dams, and invested in real estate. With his acquired wealth, he initiated the Kaiser Family Foundation, a charitable organization. On this day in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson issued a presidential proclamation that officially establishes the first National Mother's Day holiday to celebrate America's mothers. The idea for a Mother's Day was credited by some to Julia Ward Howe, 1872, and by others to Anna Jarvis, 1907, who both suggested a holiday dedicated to a day of peace. Many individual states celebrated Mother's Day by 1911. But it was not until Wilson lobbied Congress in 1914 that Mother's Day was officially set on the second Sunday of every May. In his first Mother's Day proclamation, Wilson stated that the holiday offered a chance to publicly express our love and reverence for the mothers of our country. 1916, Dr. the Honorable Selwyn Carlton Alexander was born in Montego Bay to Selwyn Augustus and Rosina Alexander. Selwyn Carlton Alexander died at age 73 on May 23, 1989. The Grace Kennedy Foundation was established in memory with $4.5 million to help education in Jamaica. The beneficiary of the fund were institutions with which Mr. Alexander was affiliated. He was acknowledged as a rare patriot to Jamaica. Also, let's tell you that in 1927, Brevet Colonel Oscar Moresco died at his residence in Cherry Gardens, St. Andrew. The Brevet Colonel was the son of the late Oscar Moresco, Custos of St. Andrew, and a former manager of the Colonial Bank in Jamaica. Since retiring from the British Army, he had been living in Jamaica. Moresco Road, Marescaux, Moresco Road in St. Andrew, is named for his father. Do we take a pause there? Let's pause there for now and clear a few more messages and calls here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Here's a follow-up message from Crocs in Black River. He says, on a serious note, the evolving of media into the Fox and MSNBC models is what is causing people to lose respect for journalists and jeopardizing their safety. The ideal is that the Fourth Estate should, as far as is possible, act as a referee. Now, sadly, the media is deeply involved in the fight and in all the nastiness which surrounds it. From Crocs in Black River. Thanks for your message, Crocs in Black River. Cuban in Georgia, you're going to have to take a break for the time being because we read your lengthy messages already. So we need to give someone else a chance right now. But your message is here. Let's see if we're able to read it for the rest of this afternoon. Let's go to Driver in America. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you and the listeners, Brother Dervan. How's everything, sir?
Good afternoon. We're giving thanks for life. And you?
I'm I'm good, thanks. Yes, I got Sister Nadine's information from JNN Logistics Marine.
Oh, excellent. Happy to hear that.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Good.
Yes, Brother Dervan, your opening poem. Could you read the first stanza for me, please? The first stanza, yes. If it close to you, or do you have it on your laptop up front?
Let's see if we can bring it up.
No problem, sir.
The first stanza. I opened a book, and in I strode. Now nobody can find me. I've left my chair, my house, my road, my town, and my world behind me. That's the first verse, or the first stanza.
Yes, sir. Brother Dervan, as you read it, it is what compelled me, because I was here just, going over call, because I've been on the station all day complaining about this and that and, stuff, but it compelled me to call you. One, I'll explain, Mrs. May White was our librarian, God bless her soul, and somebody who, from I have sense, recognize that I enjoyed reading, literature on a whole, stuff like that, and everything, would encourage me to select books for me to read according to the different stages of my life, encourage me to write essays to magazines in England. I won a few of them, won some prizes, won some roller skates, glider playing down in the bush with the cows, flying my glider, that kind of thing. And, to read the part where you read it, I opened my book. My favorite place to read when I was home, because, I spent a lot of time, I lived outside the town, so,
yes.
And, my chores, I was on the farm a lot with the cows and other animals and stuff like that. Learned to play my bugle down there, run my tracks, catching the calves in the evening. People.
Sounds like you had a lot of fun in your childhood.
But my brother, the main thing is,
yes.
Opening the book. My favorite place to read on the farm was in this milky mango tree. It's still there.
You mean you climbed the mango tree and sat there and read?
My brother read so many books.
Whoa.
Read so many books up there. It was just so nice, just you and the green lizard. Him on one side, me on the other side. You know what I mean? Him no big side, me no man. And the generations of green lizards still living in that tree.
I'm not surprised.
I look at them, believe me, the things that you connect with. But this is what reading, my brother, it's just when you read, it was so vivid, your poem, man, you select some, and I really hope a lot of this is going over people's heads, because I know you sit and you carefully select what you come on the ear with.
Yes.
And, my brother, believe me, man, it was just so vivid, the colors, the pictures, everything that you inspired in me reading that poem. But the other aspect of it is this, Brother Dervan.
Yes.
You heard that thing that Brother Gill, Dr. Gill today spoke about with Holy Childhood, and I think there's a whole bunch of the first farmers reading at 4th grade level.
Holy Childhood?
Yeah. No. I'm lying.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take which school? It was one.
You mean Holy Trinity?
I apologize to you, Holy Childhood. Massive, I know, play that. Sorry about that, Holy Trinity. But even then,
yes,
not to put anybody above or below anybody else. That's a school that was held in high esteem in my time as a student.
Holy Trinity.
I remember when they came. Yes, they came to school challenge and stuff like that and stuff. They could hold their own.
Yes.
And it was never a school that do that. So, but it's not to just target them alone, because as another person, another listener mentioned to Brother Gill, that was just indicative of what's going on in a wide cross section of our high school.
Yeah, we have known that, and we have known that for a long time as well. But you hear about this committee and this decision, and this is what we're going to do, and announcements are made, and then nothing happens, and then on a bad news day, somebody goes in and takes up an old story to say to remind us essentially of the state of affairs. Sorry, hold a moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:15. Hey, what happened to all those goods you were trying to export the other day?
Oh, one phone call to my Spanish contact in Venezuela and he took the whole lot.
To Venezuela? But you don't speak Spanish.
Not me, man. The Language Training Center Limited. They do all my foreign language transactions.
You know, I have a reggae contact in Japan, but I don't speak Japanese. Then go to the Language Training Center Limited, 31 Halfway Road, 9262756 or 9260375. The Language Training Center for all your language needs.
Farmers, you spoke, we listened. Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica is filling your need for drought-tolerant, high-yielding, certified seeds from No New and Namdari. Our crop care guides help you achieve early maturity, maximum yield, and minimum pests and diseases. Call us at 876-757-0022. Like and follow us at Caribbean Jam or WhatsApp 876-401-4766 for more information. No New and Namdari seeds available at farm stores island-wide. Ask for it.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:16. 现在几点了？4点16分。16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. So the report to reform education system has been launched. That's the most recent story I saw. But we have had these launches and announcements before. So let's, I don't know, what else can we do at this stage, do you think, Driver?
What I was taking this to is
Mm-hmm.
to basically to read literacy, numeracy.
Yes.
That's a basic.
The fundamentals.
In parallel, the child is going through developmental stages, psychological developmental stages.
Yes.
And it is important to have these things occurring in tandem, learning in a formal setting, to interact,
Yes.
to read, to, just to develop the total individual.
Yes.
So there are many things going on. And this whole thing that we used to say, in terms of, it takes a village to raise a child, it's not anything just silly so, it is a real mouthful,
Yeah.
But, in terms of the village, that it is necessary to have an environment that's susceptible to learning, human development, that kind of thing. But if we look at our society, all of these things has been eroded to a great extent. Our teachers now are. Someone sent you a message earlier that also made me reflect about their library that's still at their house and their books.
Yes.
You know, I go to the old house and my mother's books from Bethlehem, all of her studies along the way overseas, etc., etc. Books all over the place. I remember once I asked someone to clean up the place for me, and when I looked, they had a whole bunch of books in one of the old shipping barrels, ready to throw away. Just to show you.
You know, somebody told me a similar story like that. Somebody told me a story like that. That someone was about to throw away a whole container, in a manner of speaking, a whole container of books and magazines, as opposed to donating them to a school. I couldn't believe it.
I say this, I say, that's a mouthful. I say that to say this, basically it is how it is valued.
Yes.
And an indictment on the individual.
True.
And, I can't even blame them because it's the environment that they come up in.
Yep.
And without reading, without that environment to develop you as the individual, what we see going on is what? That's how you plant corn, that's what you're going to reap,
That's right.
What we have planted. I don't even think we took the effort to plant. Well, I'm going to come back on that because I think it was designed to take us from where we were to where we are at this particular time. It was, this morning it was an issue also, and I maintain, I've seen enough of it all over the world to realize that there is a deliberate attempt to this one like Hitler and them, the first thing, and a lot of these tyrants, the first thing they do is take over the educators, burn the books. You remember that was pretty common?
Yeah.
That is not over, brother Dervan. That is not over because no one, it is a shame because, leaders should aspire to have, a healthy polity where, there's discourse, and different ideas and such. But they're just driven to, hold on to leadership at whatever cost. And I say also to dumb down the people. You don't want people, like intellectuals standing up at your meetings. You notice when our leaders get into like when they're speaking to the constituency or anything like that, how they get down, go, that kind of thing. Some of them can't talk patois properly. You know what I mean? But that is the language of
the masses.
In their eyes. And it speaks volumes about them. That is how they perceive the people. That is who they think we are. That's who out here. Those are the people who are voting. They don't want, a lot of leaders, they don't want people to contest them. They don't want to live with the fact that somebody might come tomorrow and have a better policy. Do you see our opposition or any of these people dealing with policy or presenting their platform in hopes of gaining office, sir?
No, it's usually throwing words as that's usually what happens on the platform.
Exactly. If we look at the converse of that, what are they really saying? Why you have the gold there when you're talking to me? To we, the people. Why do you have the gold there? Why?
And I tell people that all the time, Jamaicans understand English. The pronunciation now and then might be off, but we do understand English.
Indeed. And, speaking better than a lot of people who, think that, you come from this banana republic. I went through that because I hear way back when, there were too many of us, and, teacher write on your paper, hey, you don't belong here, I'm going to take you up to college. So I'm afraid of this and that and so on, so college. Yeah, teachers will write that on your paper and sneak it, give you when you present a paper to them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that is, just coming here with and I say that not to boast, brother Dervan.
No, you're just telling it like it is.
The whole of city, university, New York, is like the Caribbean population it's like no American never, but it's like it's just pure Caribbean as in land. I mean, you had those who went the other way too, but
yes.
by and large, the masses, we were driven, education was valuable to us and we understood it,
That's
irrespective of our origins, our socioeconomic origin, Everybody going there, they hold their own and all the distinctions and this and that. When you go graduation, you miss some, come back some lad and it's not, and that's what Jamaicans aspire to. I can speak that my peers. Yes, I had the other ones when I went home in the neighborhood, gunman and drug man and, you're playing football and man, gun drop out time waste and stuff like that, But at the same time, that didn't divert you because you had something to hold on to. You had an anchor.
Yes.
And our people now, with all this trying to, say, okay, we need some serious policing and stuff like that right now. But at the same time, there are other aspects of our society. Everything goes back to education. And not even just looking at the students, Brother Dervan. Do you see any other politicians moving with any urgency right now to address the teacher situation in Jamaica when we're bleeding teachers? Teachers are leaving. Teachers are the promise, the pillars of our nation. And they're leaving. And do you see people that people don't care about whether they get paid or not? How does a teacher feel now when, they went in and they taught for however long and they're looking for their pay and they're uncertain about what they're going to get, You understand what I'm saying, Brother Dervan?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that things have fallen apart.
I'm glad you said that because I don't want to be, seem like the pessimist, but they've fallen apart to a great extent, and the process is accelerating. We're just holding on by our prior accomplishments, our name brand and everything. But who's coming after us? How are we developing our youth to, preserve what our forefathers and mothers acquired at the Jamaica that they established? Are we just going to be anywhere the wind blow nation? Any follow fashion monkey like Bunny Wheeler says, without sense of ourselves, self-determination, we don't define who we are, we just blow where the wind blows. Is that who we ought to be, sir?
No, we can't afford to. We can't afford to.
Yeah. We're just sitting down and just letting this thing happen, and at the same time, what we stand to lose. And our leaders, I don't see them addressing any of this. It's just this.
So it's left up. It's then left up to the people to agitate and advocate. That's really what it boils down to, at least for starters.
You came full circle. Now we have a people who have been, a society that has been socially engineered to underachieve. Yes, to settle for less. Don't check, is it hard or the deal? God, I thank you, the few. I won't even say the few. Those who are still holding the order and accomplishing because they're still brilliant students and exceptional teachers, which I always remember your interview with that principal from Marcus Garvey High School.
Yes.
That's lady was enthusiastic. I don't have to ask if she is one of them old style. Not calling her old, miss. Just saying.
No, she's still relatively young, actually. Aniona Hunter. I don't remember her married name now, but the original name is Aniona Hunter. We actually met her. We met her in Portland, I think it was. We were doing a broadcast. That's where we met her. That's what I remember.
I could tell by her, voice and enthusiasm that she was a younger person, but she's holding to the tradition of the great Jamaican teachers who came before her. And I think she won an award also,
Yes, she did.
a national award.
Yes.
Yes. But just when and there are many of those people out there. I was saying when the whole thing about dealing with education in the COVID period, when COVID was really kicking, get some of those teachers, those teachers who are invested.
Just a moment. Perhaps we could wrap when you come back, because we need to take a break now. Anyway, hold on, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness. Your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-41125 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在地点了5点12分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. Good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thanks for holding, driver.
Yes, sir. I'll conclude with it. What I was driving at is this. Driving. Nonetheless, what I was getting to is the fact that without a decent foundation in numeracy, literacy, civics, and all of these things, it is impossible for the individual to develop the ability to conceptualize, in a complex manner, certain things,
Yes.
you can't, certain concepts you can't grasp.
The ability to reason.
That's what I'm saying. You can't reason. Exactly, sir.
Yes.
And so we have these in countries such as ours, and unfortunately most of them are black ruled, majority black, where education is undermined. We have a lot of this violence and, inability. You just had to insert here about the violence reduction, some programs, something to that effect, but we can't sit and converse. We can't have a discourse. Even the politicians, look at how they're dealing with discourse.
Yes.
Or differences of opinion. Call people chink and run them and and I'm not taking one party over the next, I'm just saying this is what you understand, because this is where we are as a nation when we see our leaders, instead of intelligently taking each other on and setting up good example for the nation, to say, hey, this is how you deal with this when you disagree with another person. You're going to start calling name and then the other person take offense and then they come with their gun. You understand what I'm saying, Brother Dervan?
Yeah.
And that is why I am sending a message to the leaders. You think you can get by with just disregarding, especially the education of our people, the bedrock. But you can't. You can't get by with dealing with it part-time, when you feel like it, when it comes up on your agenda or whatever, it is something. If you dare take up that ministry, you know, we'll be prepared to lift our nation up. I keep going back to this man, Edwin Allen, the Don, in my time. Not saying anybody is perfect, but under his, you know, his leadership of the ministry, I received, and I'm sure a lot of us.
He was the one. He was the one who stood and applauded when Michael Manley declared free education.
All right, Brother Dervan, you might young, but you really, you know, you think, you know, I mean, my brother, it's like this, you know. And that was bipartisan. By the way, he was General PA.
Yes, man, I know. I know. I know.
Yeah, well, that is why it was. No, I'm just saying to the people. That is why it stands out that he stood when Manley said that. You know what I mean? And that was how politicians were then. It was not this bickering and block from tail and act like, you know, you can't tell the difference between you and some man out there in the rum bar. You know what I mean? With by your, you know, no.
We need to raise our standards.
Yeah, we need, and I'll conclude with this. That takes us to the whole thing about selecting our leadership. There are many of us, Brother Shalman Scott was talking to Brother Neil earlier about those who did not vote in the last election, and it seems to be trending that way again. If we sit idly by those who know better and can think in the more complex terms and look long term and see that we have a nation to build, to sustain. If you look at your yard and think it's not gonna affect you, what, you know, with all your prison bars on your house and stuff like that, you know, think again. Sit and exempt yourself from the political process at your own peril. Because, you know, life goes on, and I will say this, I said to you before, Brother Dervan, the difference between good and evil is, as Khalil Gibran says, that evil is nothing more than good turned inside out by its own hunger and thirst. And when good is hungry, it will eat in the dark caves and drink from the dead waters. I conclude with that, my brother. One love to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's make way for David Crosburn. Thanks for the call.
Blessings.
Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon, David Crosburn. How are you?
Very well, thanks, and good afternoon to you and all your listeners at home and abroad.
Thank you on their behalf.
Yeah, indeed. I heard you went deep in your history lessons. You're mentioning about the Treaty of Madrid.
Yes.
You see how powerful and how magnetic Jamaica is. To know that we were instrumental in developing that treaty, the Treaty of Madrid.
Oh yes.
But what pains my soul is that from if you draw an arc from the Treaty of Madrid to the Madrid Protocol, we haven't learned and take the lessons into consideration.
Yes.
For example, take Tia Maria, one of our precious commodities.
Yeah, we have shared that story a few times on this program. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if you look on the bottle now, you see made in Italy, and no reference that the work was done here in Jamaica.
Yes.
And
Maurice Cargill's aunt. Yes.
And then you have the Appleton Estate, their business still. But to know that for from 1751, Appleton has been operating in Jamaica. And now all of that has been moved out the way. We should have found a way to protect that. So I'm saying from the Treaty of Madrid to the Madrid Protocol, nothing we have done to protect our journey. But just to what Driver was saying on books, I have had that experience too, my whole collection, I lost it, but I'm not bitter. I love it that my uncle taught me, whatever you read, understand, whatever understand, remember. Most of my talking with you, I'm speaking from my head, from my memory.
Yes.
I am not, all my books, most of my books, all my works was stolen. But anyway, I won't be bitter.
That's very rare. There are people who in Jamaica who have stolen books.
It's a bag I had, and I went to a function, and this does, and then a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I went to to New York, and I bought 3 suitcases of books and brought home.
Oh wow!
And 3 suitcases when the children, they said, "Daddy," I said, "Books, friend, book." And from the wing to grade the first at Glenmuir, right until 2001, every year I went to prize giving because of the books that I showed them the importance of books.
I did a bit of book buying once, and they can be some of the heaviest things you can think of. They're really, when you pack them together, geez. Yeah.
It is, but so important,
Yes, very important. No, I've had to be strong in carrying from time to time, but yeah, happy to have. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll show you why I am connected to the books. When Columbus came, if you remember, on his 3rd voyage, he was stranded in Jamaica.
Yes.
Up by, if you look on the map of Jamaica, you see an area named Christopher Cove. He was stranded there for 1 year.
Yes, that's true.
While he was stranded there, the people, the early inhabitants, weren't giving, they ran out of food and so. And because they eat a lot, the Europeans in that time eat about 5 times what the Jamaicans would have ate over a short period. So they ran out of food. So, it was an almanac that he had, and he read and get understanding that the moon is going to eclipse. And so he sent for the leaders in Jamaica, the head of that, the casinos, that early inhabitants. And he told them, all right, you're starving me, look and see what's going to happen to you if you do not give me any food. And when they went away from him, by the Friday, and they look up in the sky and saw the eclipse of the moon, that frightened them, and they emptied out all the food that they had and gave it to Columbus. So I said, boy, books can save a life in the situation. And not only for that, but book is powerful and very important, Mm-hmm. And just in closing, continue to do your work, and I really and truly, deeply appreciate you of the tremendous job. I know it's a lonely job and a lot of distractors and so, but as a people, as a country, let us come together and know that enough is in Jamaica for everyone to go forward and be the best version of what they can be.
Very well said.
I heard you mention
Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard you mention Alzal in Clarion, where the first group of Indians came. And It's an awesome place in Dervan. Okay. Also in Clarina.
Yes, I've passed through there a few times.
No, you must pass through. You must go over there.
Yeah.
It's over there. A lot of energy. You cannot believe it. The first geology book in Jamaica was written over there now.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you Google, my goodness, Dr. Hans Sloan, he came there for 15 months.
Sir Hans Sloan.
Because,
yeah,
you can read it. It's there. He came and lived at Alzal for 15 months. And you know what happened in the 15 months? He was able to collect 600 specimens of plant specimens.
And documented them.
And to them, those were the foundation for the start of the British Museum in England.
That's true. One moment, please. One moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Come to the Denby 4-H Center in Clarendon Friday, May 12th for the Jamaica 4-H Club's National Achievement Expo under the theme Grow Smart, Eat Smart, Youth Responding to Food Security. Learn about Grow Smart technologies. Visit the Eat Smart Food Hub. There'll be prizes, awards, agency displays, and more. Admission adults $300, children $100. Gates open at 8 a.m. That's the Jamaica 4-H Club's National Achievement Expo, Friday, May 12th at the Denby 4-H Center in Clarendon.
Hey, what happened to all those goods you were trying to export the other day?
Oh, one phone call to my Spanish contact in Venezuela and he took the whole lot.
To Venezuela? What, you don't speak Spanish?
Not me, man. The Language Training Center Limited. They do all my foreign language transactions.
You know, I have already contacted Japan, but I don't speak Japanese. Then go to the Language Training Center Limited, 31 Halfway Road, 9262756 or 9260375. The Language Training Center for all your language needs.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h moins 13. Time just changed. 现在TDN 了4点13分, 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Continuing with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. And thank you very much for holding, Mr. Crossburn.
Yes, Dervan. And also, there at Alzal is the first place in the world. No, but we need to do things right. And there's a lot, but I won't say that. Let me say it this way. There's a lot of work to be done. And I just trust that we'll begin to organize and do our work properly. Because across from there, maybe south of there, there's an area on the Monimus property that's named Chocolate Gully, Cocoa Gully.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, if I was wondering, because I question things, and I'm wondering if Cocoa Gully in Monimus was connected to where Sir Hans Sloan got the cocoa from at the time. But a lot of work would have to be done to find out that.
Yes.
But it's an awesome amount of possibilities that can be done. Because even up the road from there, where there is Corato Hill, and Corato is a plant in Dervan that
Oh, is that how it's pronounced? It's not Curato, it's Corato? I'm just checking.
I'm pronouncing.
Yes.
My pronunciation is poor, but it is a plant. And Dr. Robinson, the government gave him an honorarium for using it to produce a soap, which was as good as the Castile soap, the soap from that curta plant. And I've been inquiring, but I can't really put my hands on if portion of the plants, because they did a book on the plants in Clarendon. And when I scroll through that book, I haven't seen any mention of the curta plant, you know. And in your, sorry to be up and down the place, but in your advertisement you mentioned the Dembe show, the Dembe 4-H coming up. Dembe is an extraordinary place in Jamaica that we don't really begin to put our thoughts on about there. You know. Dembe was a 3,000-acre estate. You know,
it's a Scottish. It's a Welsh. Is it Welsh or Scottish? The name, I think it's Welsh. Welsh. Denby.
Yes, man. Yeah, Denby is in Wales because it's actually Henry Morgan, you know. Henry Morgan, as I mentioned about the Treaty of Madrid, it ties up in the Treaty of Madrid as well. Because of the Treaty of Madrid between Spain and the other countries, Henry Morgan left from Port Royal and went to Venezuela and in Maracaibo, Venezuela, and took over 250,000 pieces of eight. He brought to Jamaica. Pieces of eight is could be about $2 US plus at the time. Because at the time Venezuela had huge mining of salt.
I wonder that's how if the song that came out by the late Harry Belafonte, Matilda, Matilda, take me money and run Venezuela or something like that. Wonder if there's a connection there.
I was so happy that I had the opportunity of going to Maracaibo. And we went close to the lake and so I mentioned it in my book and so on. Show a picture of it, the Maracaibo Lake. And I did not know before I go there that we were connected to it by through Henry Morgan. It's after I came back and then I was reading history of Jamaica. It's like an angel just put my hand on the book, and as I opened the history of Jamaica, I saw where we went. He went to
Maracaibo.
Yeah. And even before he went to Maracaibo, he went to Panama and took the city of Panama. You know? I just say that to say, because it is export week and you were mentioning about export. And in that, we were exporting cassava to Panama from 1523. So we should always, even at our export here, show those things that we have been exporting cassava from Jamaica. But 500 years ago, we in Jamaica were exporting cassava to Venezuela. I've been all over the place, but I enjoyed it and thanks. And just to, before in closing, just to say to our brothers and sisters, a gentleman, while I was working at Moneybox, a gentleman from Kenya, his name is Wabuke. He was my immediate boss, you know, and my immediate supervisor. And he held my hand and said, Cosburn, let me tell you this. I cannot understand why Jamaicans are hurting each other like that. How are they killing each other like that? And everyone is connected. It pains my heart. Believe me, what I'm telling you now was 20 years ago, or about 20 years ago, Mr. Wabuki said that to me. How is it that as the Jamaicans we are hurting? Do we know that each and every one is connected. And I trembled when he said that to me. And when I look and see how we are treating each other now and now, you know, it's painful, you know. And I just made the appeal to each and every one. I'll give an example before I close finally. I was born in Leeds State, near a district by the name of Treadways. You can look it up on your Google. And Treadways, there's a sugar factory there, a remnants of a sugar factory that was owned by the Dawkins. And it had a treadmill. And only during the coronation the other day when I was watching it, you know, and then I came to the realization that the adjoining district to Treadways was a district by the name of York Street. It was in the news for very good reasons the other day. One of my schoolmates.
We did a broadcast from a health fair there at York Street, at the school.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's nearby Treadways. Mm-hmm. Well, here this Dervan, York Street, when I was watching the coronation, I realized that is the slaves that they used to, we call it, Duke of York. They stamped the slave, D.Y. Duke of York. You know, because my grandfather showed and tell me all about all the implements and so on, you know. And then I realized now, so York Street, that's how it got its name, D.Y. Duke of York. They branded the slaves, the Duke of York, you know. So thanks for listening here, and I'll continue to be very strong.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the call.
Yes.
Take care. Bye-bye. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 9th of May, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Give it more than just a passing look. My bread alone and shall not slip. But from words of good still have much to give. Mixing forms, old and new, some serious, some music too. You'll understand, appreciate with all that we think. Communicate to pass distractions after they will see. Reading everything is a missing link. So raise your knowledge and I feel it gives you confidence in you. Reading make us a full man. So read and read all you can. Join a library or buy a book and give it more than just a passing look. Direct alone, man shall not slip. But from words of words, he'll have much to give. Let me hear it now. Read and make us a full man. So read and read all you can. Join a library or buy a book and give it more than just a passing look. Direct alone, man shall not slip. But from words of words, he'll have much to give. Read.
listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.